Lawrence Charles Harris here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
Good evening, and yes, it is a victory post-game Monday. How's everybody doing tonight? DC, what do you think about the win on Sunday?
Ugly, but we'll take it.
Amen.
We usually lose the games like that, so winning this one was definitely another step in the right direction.
Considering it was on the road and who it was up against, I think it was our most impressive win.
Yeah. If it was a last-second field goal that got missed, and it was ugly, but hell, like I said the other night, I think our front seven, the last 7 games, our front seven has gone to flat-out elite. Between the linebackers, the pass rush, we didn't know anyone rushing.
Mm-hmm. Brian Roy says, "Hey guys, the Lions game is on NFL Network right now." I know, but I'm watching the MNF shit show that is known as the LA Scams versus the Green Bay Packtards.
Oh Jesus!
In the trenches.
I'm watching Ovi and the Capitals.
Well, who were your hot players? Who do you think were the hottest players yesterday?
Oh, hot players, I would probably go with that front seven: McNeil, Angela, Alex, Hutch. Definitely Houston coming in with those 2 plays, or those 2 sacks and as little snaps as he's getting. I mean, those are the main ones. Freaking Deshaun Elliott has a good game every game he plays. I mean, he may have busted.
Too bad he had to miss a quarter and a half.
Yep, but he's always there making big ass hits everywhere. But those would be that whole front seven would be my big ones. And of course, you got to give it to Khalif for taking that run back. That was cool.
Put Khalif Raymond in there.
Yep. And who was that? Pittman who threw that block at the end? I didn't even recognize that number 50.
I think it was.
Like, what the fuck number is Pittman? Shit.
My hot players, and I'm going to start at the top. The O-line and the front seven.
Mm-hmm. You with the O-line?
Goff kept us in it. Yes, he did. He wasn't hot. He wasn't cold. He was exactly what I expected. Game manager average Goff.
Yep.
And nothing more, nothing less. He didn't win us the game. He didn't lose us the game. But let's see. Let's start back at the top. I said the O-line, the front seven, period. Everybody on that front seven made plays. Jerry Jacobs, Brock Wright, Khalif Raymond, and our leading tackler, despite missing a quarter and a half, was Deshaun Elliott with 5 tackles.
Yep.
Will Vogel says, I can be on Wednesday. Is that okay? Yes, it is, Will. I'll have you on. That being said, my cold players. The secondary. We had one great play, and I should add it into the hot plays, and that was Jerry Jacobs. Other than that, it was not very good from our secondary. And if you actually watched the game, you paid attention, Okudah had a couple plays where he played bad against Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
But
more than what we're used to
every
seeing.
time somebody else started catching the ball, they'd put AO or Will Harris on Garrett, and then you seen him get a big gash play.
Yep.
I'm beginning to think AO and Will Harris are both gone next year, and we're almost going to have to either draft or sign a vet mid-level cornerback to be the 2.
Unless they count on Jacobs with a full season under his belt, but here or there we'll have to get one or another Will Harris. Or Mike Hughes has had his good spots this year. Has his bad spots too, but he has had his good spots.
Will Vogel says, as a Panthers fan, I got the Lions winning 24-10. We'll take it, but playing on the road is different than playing at home. All the road games we've won have been close. And we're up to 3 now.
Yep.
And they've all been close.
So I just can't remember the last time we won 3 road games.
It has been since the Caldwell era, year 1.
Yep. It's been a while.
You can't say
we did forget about Romeo.
Romeo had 2 sacks, yes.
Yep.
Houston had 1.
Yeah, but Romeo good to see he was chomping at the bit to get back in there.
Mm-hmm. I didn't expect it.
Nope. 1, maybe 2. Yeah.
No, I didn't expect him to even get 1 because it's only his second game back after a long time off. I was expecting him to be rusty.
Yep.
But
I don't know. He could have been that healthy if they just kept him out.
How good is it that we went from 1-6 to 6-1 over the last 7?
Awesome yet expected in a way, because when we were 1-6, we were so decimated with injuries. We were decimated. We couldn't get anything under our feet, and even then, we were having close games. I mean, it wasn't like we were getting blown out of the gates for 6 games. I mean, we were still a tough team, but we had a lot of injuries everywhere, and we said before the season started, if we were healthy, we would tear shit up. We're healthy now and getting there.
And we're a half game out, and according to one prognosticator that does the betting odds, the Lions have a 30% chance of getting in the playoffs. But according to Brian Roy asked me a question just a second. Is it still 10-6 Pudge Packers? Last I saw, it's on a commercial, so I can't see. That being said, on 97 won the ticket yesterday morning, they said the odds just went up to 50% that the Lions could make it.
Yeah.
And that's due to the strength of schedule of what everyone else has remaining. That's ahead of us,
so
which
many
is
Seattle pieces.
Seattle has the Chiefs. I think they play the 49ers again.
Yeah, I mean, all we can really do is win out, and that's all we have.
Mm-hmm. It's a quote many, many coaches. I can't remember the first one that said it off the top of my head. Just win, baby. Dick Vitale, right?
No, that was Al Davis, but he was
Al Davis.
Right. Yep.
But I know lots of coaches have said it too.
Oh yeah, it's been a mantra.
Mm-hmm. And just think, we're a half game out of the playoffs, and we're playing meaningful games in December, home and on the road.
Yep.
And we play on Christmas Eve versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yes. Do you remember those old games in the 90s when it seemed about 5 or more years in a row where the Lions would suck, and on Thanksgiving game they would win Thanksgiving game and then all but win out every year?
Mm-hmm.
It almost became just kind of a joke that the Lions will suck until Thanksgiving and then might squeak into the playoffs and might not. It got to be routine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a very fun season. This season is going to go down in a lot of Lions memories.
They already hit my basement for the year.
Yep.
My basement of expectations.
6 wins? 6 wins?
7 wins. I said 7.
Oh, for your basement?
But I came up with that because I said this team is twice as talented, and we got 3 wins and a tie, which in Vegas counts as a half a win.
Yep. I figured that too. It's just a question of getting everyone on the field at the same time.
Seattle's not even in right now.
Wow,
It's Giants
Seattle in
and Commanders. So Seattle, with that loss the other day, they're out right now.
They're out
Right
of
now,
the
we are
playoffs or out of
tied.
the hunt?
No, they're still in the hunt, but they're out of the playoff
Okay.
picture right now. You know what I'm saying? The actual
Yeah,
playoff
when
picture.
I thought they got eliminated when you said
And
they were out.
now
Like,
the Giants and Commanders are tied, with the Giants having the leg up on that one. All of them have to lose.
the more they lose, the better.
It is now 17-6. Pack-tards.
Shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And right now, the way it's sitting, if we were to make the wild card in the 7th seed, we'd be facing Minnesota. Bring it home.
Yep. Oh, that would be probably about the best things we can get.
Out of who's in?
Yep.
But my cold players were the secondary. And Brock Wright was both hot and cold. If you remember, he dropped a key third down conversion early in the game.
Yeah, he did. But hell, he's done better than TJ has since he left. We've had more production out of Brock Wright than they've had out of TJ Hawkinson. About what did he have? 3 touchdowns since TJ Hawkinson's gone?
We've
2
had
of them have been for bombs.
No, 2. Brock Wright has 2. Shane Zylstra has 1, and James Mitchell has 1.
Okay. Yeah, I'd also say our running backs were both just worst game I've seen them have. All 3 of them.
Because the first seed gets the bye, so it's 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. Now, I do the predictions later on in the week, Bill. Well, I just think it's going to be closer than you think because we're a different team on the road. My key stats this week. Oh, the other 2 cold players that I have to admit, Jason Kabinda and Jamal Williams. Both of them, big drops that cost possessions.
Yep, big drops and just not their normal selves.
I mean, it's only 2.1 yards per carry. That's not normal Jamal Williams.
Nope, kind of screwed up his case to getting 1,000 yards this week.
Yeah. That being said, my key stats, number 1, turnover department. Lions 0, Jets 1. That's 6 weeks in a row without a turnover.
Exactly. And how many weeks in a row with one? Something ungodly, isn't it? Like 16 or something like crazy?
No, 13 weeks. 13 weeks straight the Lions defense has gotten it. By my count, I saw 12, but according to Lomas and Dan Miller on the radio, they said 14. The official count on 97.1, the ticket this morning, was 9. That's still way too many. When your quarterback completes 23 passes out of 38, which means only 15 incompletions, and 9 of them were drops, that's way too many.
Exactly. I don't know if it was the weather or what, but
the other
that
key
drop
stat,
problem hadn't been much of one.
Even though we had bad performances on the ground by Jamal Williams and Kabinda, we still managed to get over 100 yards rushing and held the other team to only 50 flat yards.
Yep.
And Brent
That's a
DeWitt
big
says,
step.
wow, that's way too many. Yeah, so that meant that there were 6 bad passes. And anyone that calls that pass to J-Mo with DJ Reed in perfect coverage a bad pass, they're blind.
Yep.
It was dead on the money because J-Mo was here falling backwards as the guy got to him. If he wouldn't have fell, he could have got a pass interference.
Yeah, I mean,
The
really,
guy
in that
never touched him.
situation,
The guy never touched him because he fell.
in that situation, you don't throw a pick. That's about the best pass that you can make, is one that's not picked.
Right, but that, if you look where he was standing, because he fell back and DJ Reed's arm was in front of him like this when the ball hit it, that was right where J-Mo's hands would have been.
Yep. The refs were kind of, who knows?
I didn't get it.
Besides, on both sides, I was just like, what in the hell are these guys even doing?
How did they even? I don't even know how the other team got 2 penalties. I don't remember when they were called.
Yep. I think one was.
You could say it was underthrown. It wasn't underthrown. It was dead on the money. It was dead on the money. If J-Mo wasn't falling down, it would have been pass interference because it was right where J-Mo would have been at that moment. He fell backwards. He turned around to catch the ball.
If you'd have thrown it more than that, it would have been a pick. So,
no, if he'd have thrown it, he would have to throw it 2 yards deeper and a yard higher at the same time.
Well, yeah, then it wouldn't have been underthrown. I'm being a smart ass. It would have been underthrown.
To get where J-Mo was falling.
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
where he was falling. He didn't trip. He didn't get pushed. It wasn't pass interference. He was never touched. He fell backwards when he turned around. He wasn't diving backwards. And Brett DeWitt, yes, that DB got a lucky bounce off of his arm, I think. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he just happened to be benefiting that J-Mo was falling. His momentum was still carrying, and it hit him on the top of the arm. If it was underthrown, it had hit him in his back. Jets didn't fear Jamison Williams. They played us man. That's because they don't play zone. Robert Salah does not run a zone defense. He runs a man defense, period. End of story.
It was also 30 degrees outside. So, yeah, they're going to be.
Brian Roy says, doesn't it feel good to talk positive about our team instead of negative? I tried to remain positive, but there was a time when it was hard. I saw the glimpses, and I was like, man, next year this team's going to be deadly. Well, I didn't know it was going to happen in this season. That being said, the other key stat to the game, we got gashed repeatedly. Garrett Wilson and a couple of the other guys. It was a total of 317 yards, and he only had 18 completions. Zach Wilson. But Brent DeWitt said, I thought it was a perfect throw to J-Mo. I did too. You guys can say it was underthrown. You can gripe and whine and cry about it all you want. If he wasn't falling down, that was either a touchdown or first down on the one due to pass interference. The other one now, the other key stat I want to say is the penalties. Even though we were penalized as much as we were, they had 2 penalties. We had 6. They had 2 for 20. I think it was 29 because they did get a PI later in the game. and we had 6 for 52. But that's only accepted penalties. There was a couple of penalties we turned down because we got better yards without the penalty. Well, it looks like Green Bay's winning this game because it's now 24-6. So back up to number 4 with the pick, boys.
That's fine. Just trade out of it.
Jalen Carter or trade out.
Yep. All I really want is Porter Jr. in that draft. And Moody from Michigan, and then hell with the rest of it. Get those two.
Jet's speed in the secondary was evident. We could have used some more speed. Y'all need to watch the play. I've watched it 8 times. I don't need to watch it again. Jameson was falling backwards. It hit him in the arm where Jamo's. It's your and a TV commentator's opinion. That ball was dead nuts where Jamo would have been.
And it's Jared Goff. They're going to stick to their narrative. They say it's underthrown.
I know.
Even
Lion
when it's
King
not.
hates Goff. So
I
does
know.
Brendan Cook. So do a few others. I don't care anymore. Until I make a better living, probably not. Would I ever come to Charlotte? If I did, it would be because I was moving south. And yes, I'm eating on camera, and no, I don't care. Well, that pretty much covers everything. What are your final thoughts, DC?
Like I said, ugly win, but it's good that we can win these ugly games and games that we don't have to score 40 points to win. We can win a 20-point game. We're going to have just enough go our way just to make it through and eke it out. That's something we haven't done for years.
Ryan DeWitt's laughing at him, saying underthrown. Yeah, I watched the game, and in real time, it did look underthrown. But guess what? In the frame by frame, it was dead nuts where Jamo would have been, or that guy would have never touched it. Because that's that face guarding / pass interference penalty.
Yeah.
And that's been a rule for a long time, that face guarding is what it used to be called. And then they just lumped it all into pass interference.
Yeah, it's still a stupid penalty, but I'll take it. Receivers get paid. Get open. They don't need a pass interference penalty to help them out.
Yeah. Evidently, they think they do.
Oh, yeah.
Right, we couldn't win the close games. Hell, we couldn't win the big games. What are you talking about? I mean, since 2017, we haven't had a lot of hope. This team already, in one season, Dan Campbell has eclipsed Matt Patricia, and I don't want to see him come up in the comments tonight either. My final thought is the same one I give you every time. Try every day to be a better person you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. This has been Kneecap Bacon with Smokin Jeremy B. Thank you, DC, for joining me. Shout out to my sponsors, A1 Tire and Auto Repair and Mad Lab Custom Creations. Without them, I wouldn't be doing this at all. It has been my pleasure and an honor doing this. I love doing these podcasts. Make sure you guys check out South Florida Tribune's YouTube channel as well, where I'm on a couple of podcasts a couple of times a week. I was on Fire Up Michigan earlier today talking about this win and how the coach we almost hired got beat by the coach we did hire.
Damn right.
And tidbit number 2, Lions now have the edge in the historic series between the Jets and Lions with an 8-7 record.
Jesus, can't believe we've only played them 15 times.
Yeah, this was our 15th meeting.
Yep.
Brent DeWitt says, we're winning on the road. Great improvement for a young team. We couldn't win them before. Brent says, y'all have a good one. And thanks, guys. And thank you all for watching. Tune in Wednesday for the NFL Roundtable Talk. There's quite a few injuries to cover this week in the NFL. I mean, Jalen Hurts got hurt. Jonathan Taylor is out for the year.
Yes.
That just came out. There's quite a few. So I'm going to do, it's the NFL MASH unit section of the NFL Roundtable Talks.
Great.
But until next
Cue
time.
Suicide is Painless song.
Yeah. Until the next time, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, guys.